industrial action by 3 months. Court declines request of CBN Governor Emefiele to restrain INEC, Attorney General, from halting his presidential ambition. From the foreign scene, new President Rodrigo Chavez takes over in Costa Rica.
Good evening and thanks for joining us on the news tonight. Oluwatoyin Omodara is my name. Public elementary and secondary schools in Ondo State have resumed for the third term of the 2021-2022 academic session, but some of them will study in unconducive environment. Termites have destroyed the ceilings of some of their classrooms, necessitating the relocation of occupants of the affected classrooms pending renovation. Osrc's Rica, who monitored the resumption in Accra, the state capital, reports that students' turnout was encouraging in some schools, while some are yet to resume. Let's follow him for details.
Typical of a first day of resumption is the clearing of the school environment, as seen here in preparation for the principal's test, one of the strategies employed to ensure students resume early. The 3 weeks holiday is over. Pupils and students are back in school for the third term in continuation of the 2021-2022 academic session. But some of them are returning to termite-damaged classrooms, a situation that could hamper teaching and learning unless urgent renovations are carried out considering the shortage of facilities. The damage is more pronounced here at St. Thomas's Anglican Primary School in Sikon, where the roofs of these 2 classes have been destroyed by termites, resulting in the relocation of pupils. The school's head teacher, Mrs. Margaret Adiola, who said 23 out of 100 students resumed on the first day of resumption, appealed to the government to help repair the affected classes.
We need the help of the government to come and help us because the pupils, there will be no classroom that they will be using, and this is the time of rainy season now, so to prevent them from rain beating them. So
the situation here at Fuashaye Girls Grammar School is self-explanatory. Large number of students shows the effectiveness of the school's resumption strategy. While the school was on break during Osrc's visit, students writing the West Africa Senior Secondary School Certificate examination were busy with the exercise, as principal of the school, Mrs. Omobola Ojoge, said they recorded 98% attendance, notwithstanding the first day of resumption.
Nearly all my students turned up for resumption, since they know that we are starting our principal's test today. And the principal's test is 10% of the total mark for the term. And they cherish their marks, so that's why they turned up. In fact, we have about 98% turned up for today.
St. Francis High School and Omoluorobo were the next port of call, and their principals, Mrs. Bosede Dada and Mukulola Denikinjo, said arrangements have been put in place for a successful term, as both schools had impressive turnouts.
I want to do the principal's test, and not only that, I'm going to have a meeting again to sensitize my teachers to make sure that they go to their classes. I've been going around the classes to encourage them that they must be in school. That being in school will make them to get to the top.
We are going to have a principal test for 3 days. The principal test is part of the overall assessment for the term. Although it's only 10 marks. 5 marks is to encourage the children to come. So 5 marks is for presence. If you are present, you score 5 marks automatically in every subject.
After the principal's test, lectures are expected to commence in full swing across all schools on Thursday, as the term will conclude the 2021-2022 academic session. Richard Lesomi, Osrc News.
The Ondo State government has called on individuals, old student associations and groups to assist in addressing the infrastructure gap in the state's public primary and secondary schools. Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology Femi Agagu made the appeal while overseeing the resumption of schools for the third term of the 2021-2022 academic session. Richard Ilesomin again reports that the commissioner will express satisfaction with the turnout of students for resumption, particularly in the cities, urged parents in the remote areas to always ensure early resumption of their wards.
The Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Mr. Femi Agagu, led Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Mrs. Lola Muda, and other officials to schools as they resumed for the continuation of the 2021-2022 academic session. The team visited some schools in Akwamu and ended the exercise with an inspection of some schools here in Akure, the state capital, including CSC Secondary School, St. Thomas's Secondary School, among others. Here at St. Francis in Gaga, Commissioner and his team were shown around the school where students were already receiving lectures in preparation for their principal's test. The Commissioner, who expressed satisfaction with the turnout, said government remains committed to ensuring that things are done properly.
We started on very well in the morning in Baptist High School. As early as 8:30 that we got there, everything was set. There are quite a number of places where the students are still, the number of students that have resumed are not very substantial. You can see here too that the students have settled down. At least we can see that the teachers are ready to work. And in most schools in the city here, attendance is encouraging.
Speaking on the state of infrastructure, Agagu said the government will continue to do its best to provide conducive environment for teaching and learning, but appealed to individuals and groups to support the government in this task.
We are also concerned about the state of the infrastructure. The government will continue to try. We are also encouraging parents to support, encouraging all students to also give back to their alma mater. If all of us, all the stakeholders work together, I'm sure things will get better.
It is hoped that concerted efforts will further help in the development of Ondo State education sector. Richard Ilesomin, Osrc News.
Talking about education, Nigeria public universities are to remain closed as the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has extended the ongoing strike by 3 months. A statement by ASU President Professor Manuel Oshodeke said the move was to give the government enough time to satisfactorily resolve all outstanding issues. It also stated that the rollover strike is effective from today. ASU said it took this decision after its National Executive Council meeting, which started on Sunday night at the Comrade Festus Yayi National Secretariat, University of Abuja. The statement also expressed disappointment that the 3-man committee set up by President Muhammadu Buhari on 4th February 2022 to resolve the lingering issues between ASU and the federal government had not called a single meeting to date. In the meantime, the Academic Staff Union of Universities has said it did not receive any notice of meeting from the Ministry of Labour and Employment over its ongoing strike. The Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, has joined a meeting with the striking National Association of Academic Technologists on Friday, promised to meet with ASU this week. This week was also the last week of the ASU's 2-month rollover strike. But the national president of ASU, Professor Emmanuel Shodake, told journalists that the union had yet to receive any notice of a meeting from any federal government ministry. Still talking about union matters, the airline operators are going ahead with their operation after suspending their planned withdrawal of services across all airports in Nigeria. Barely 1 day before the association plans to effect the withdrawal, it explained that it was suspending the decision in the interest of the national economy and security considerations. President of the association, Abdulmunaf Sarina, announced the suspension on Sunday in a statement jointly signed by 6 members of the association. The Ondo state government says it will not relent effort at enforcing the ban on roadside trading in Akure, the state capital. The State Special Task Force, led by the Senior Special Assistant to Governor Akredolu on Special Duties and Strategy, Dr. Dunyo Debowale, was at Erekeson and Obadeshida Market in Akure, where he reiterated government resolve at activating punitive measures against defaulters, adding that the State Special Task Force is collaborating with men of the Nigerian Police Force to enforce the order. Joy Piles has details as presented from our studios.
In a bid to monitor and ensure compliance with the ban on roadside trading by the Ondo State government, the State Special Task Force, led by the Senior Special Assistant to Governor Akredolu on Special Duties and Strategy, Dr. Dunyo Debowale, and the men of the Nigerian Police Force, led by Area Commander Akure Otabo Festus, stormed Erekeson and Obadeshida markets to carry out enforcement. The team went around the markets warning traders against trading on road corridors and walkways, saying such attitude would no longer be tolerated. At the various markets, traders who initially flouted the directive were seen clearing their goods as the team compelled the traders to adhere to the laid down directives. The Senior Special Assistant to Governor Akredolu on Special Duties and Strategy, Dr. Dunyo Debowale, frowned at the display of wares by traders taking over almost half of the road, noted that the collaboration with men of the Nigerian Police Force was to ensure total compliance with the directive in order to restore sanity to the roads, thereby reducing gridlocks on the road.
You can imagine a scenario where all the feeder roads are blocked. It has been like this for quite some time. Nobody can move. You see the level of debris on the road. You see what they do. You even find people who are constructing their whatever sites, parking granite and sharp sands on the road.
Odebowale added that traders must join hands with government to ensure compliance to the directive, as there will be consequences for flouting government order.
It is going to be a continuous exercise. We are going to continue because we cannot just allow it. It is not good. It's not good. Bus stops have been converted into where they sell akara, where they sell shoes. Drugs. Pedestrians are not able to use this sidewalk constructed for the purpose. So that is why you have seen us, and it's going to continue. We won't allow anybody parking indiscriminately on the road. We won't allow them. We have instructed the police to arrest anybody who tries to disturb, the people of the state.
Beyond government enforcement, it is hoped that residents of Akure will own the vision of giving the state capital a cosmopolitan status, as the overall benefit will accrue to the public.
Let's go for a break now. When we come back, we'll serve you more stories on the news. Please stay with us.
Oh boy, I see this collab where they shoot there. Blue scatter. Guy, give me small new number now.
Romance without finance now, annoyance. Better give me ball.
Yeah, give me the number.
Oh yeah, jot the number down. 005.
Where the complete number?
This one was so hot, like the blights are going to need juice, so just like juices.
Hey, oh yeah, give me last numbers.
My 5 password.
41 now you owe me.
Oh yeah, 7650. What's you?
Smiley, hello, how are you?
What's you? You again?
Guys, the first collab was on the train, though. Give me now.
Find your first. Choose a social data bundle that suits your style. Dial *777# Glow.
You're welcome back. You can watch us live on the website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook, OSRC TV Ondo, and on YouTube. You can subscribe to our channel, OSRC TV Ondo. Now to the rest of the bulletin. The Steering Committee for the Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria, BON, award has been inaugurated following the approval of the composition of the committee by the 76th General Assembly of the body in Abuja. Performing the ceremony, the chairman of BON, Mr. John Ugwe, asked members of the committee to strive at delivering an enviable award template capable of engendering the pride of stakeholders in the broadcasting industry. Ugbe announced Mr. Guy Moribruce of Silverbird and Mr. Bayo Awoshemo of Arise Televisions as chairman and vice chairman told them to instill their wealth of experience into giving their best. Speaking for members of the committee, Mr. Bruce promised to uphold the trust and confidence reposed in them by the organization and urged support to ease their task. Ondo State Head of Service Adeniro Adeyemo has been honored as Man of the Year in recognition of his performance as Civil Service Administrator. The event, which had its theme as the life of an administrator, took place in Accra, the Ondo State capital. Resources Oladoyin Ayegbusi reports that the head of service dedicated the awards to civil servants in the state.
Mr. Adeniro Adeyemo was appointed the head of service last year, and since then, several reforms had taken place to reposition the sector. The efforts of the head of service have not gone unnoticed as he worked tall where he was recognized as Man of the Year. The event had in attendance an array of dignitaries, including the state governor, Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, to share the joy of a #1 civil servant. The governor, who was represented by the Secretary to State Government, Princess Oladuni Odu, described Adeyemo as a man who is dedicated and committed to the work he is doing.
A man who believes in fairness and equanimity. A man who is committed. A man who is dedicated. A man who loves the job he's doing with passion. A man who navigates the civil service, the slippery terrain of the civil service with everything good in him.
The award recipient, Mr. Adeniro Adeyemo, expressed delight for the honor and appreciated the governor of Ondo State, Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, SAN, for the opportunity given to him to serve in such office.
This award I dedicate it to public servants of Ondo State. I want to appreciate the public servants of Ondo State. They have actually performed creatively well. We pride ourselves that we always cooperate with the government in power. There has never been much infraction as far as political class is concerned. This present government, I want to appreciate our government. One is not surprised. He has served in other areas, distinguishing himself.
He advised civil servants to be diligent in their duties and expect God's reward. Oladoyin Ayegbusi, Osrc News.
Those in Ondo State will always have cause to smile as lots of programs have been put in place for their survival. The founder and managing director of Art for Widows International, Brit Charles Adishida, gave the assurance while taking the High Commission of the United Republic of Tanzania, Dr. Benson Bana, around the organization's farm in Accra, the Ondo State capital. Resource reporter Azimo Ibiemi covered the event and his report.
Art for Widows International is an non-governmental organization with the aim of bringing the needed assistance to widows and the society. The organization is not just giving the widows fish, but teaching them how to fish themselves. The founder of the group, Mrs. Brit Adesida, took the High Commission of the United Republic of Tanzania around the organization's farm, where various farm produce like cassava, okra, vegetable, carrots, pepper are cultivated. Livestock were not left out of the farm, as various species of animals and birds were seen on the farm. The High Commission of the United Republic of Tanzania, Dr. Ben Bana, applauded the founder of the group, Mrs. Brit Adesida, for her efforts towards bringing succor to the widows and the society.
This is what human rights should be all about. I have seen a demonstration farm where they learn the farming skills, growing tomato, growing maize, rearing rabbits and chicken, and it is all about giving the skills and the competencies to the lovely widows, to create an heart, to put a smiling face on them.
Dr. Bana hails the widows to take advantage of the rare privilege. Responding, the founder of the group, Mrs. Brith Adesida, said efforts are in top gear in ensuring that widows in Ondo State are self-reliant.
They are suffering, and nobody seems to help them because they have so many problems. It's not easy to help them. And people tend just to close their eyes, and this is too much for me, I cannot handle that, and then ignoring it. But I want to be a voice for the widows, and I want to change the life for the widows as it is in my strength and power.
When you are privileged to be in a position whereby you see that you could be of assistance or aid to others who are less privileged. So I think it's one of those things that God is expecting from us. And I believe as a Christian as well, the Bible says that a pure and true religion that God actually deserved the most is to look after the widows and the orphans.
The beneficiaries expressed their gratitude to the organization.
I only thank the organizer, the chief, and the minister Adesida for what they have been doing for us since the beginning of this thing.
The High Commission of the United Republic of Tanzania also presented some gifts to the founder of the group, Mrs. Brith Adesida, for a job well done. Zimo Biemi, Osrc News.
A federal high court in Abuja has declined the request of the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, to restrain the Independent National Electoral Commission and the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, from preventing him from pursuing his presidential ambition. Emefiele on Monday, through his lawyer Mike Ozekome, SAN, told the court in Abuja that he can run for the post of the president without vacating his position as the CBN governor. Ozekome told the court that Section 84, subsection 12 of the Electoral Act as amended 2022 does not affect Emefiele being a public servant and not a political appointee. The court in its ruling, however, refused the request and summoned INEC and AGF to appear before it on May 12 to show cause on why status quo antebellum should not be granted to the CBN governor. While the serving overseer of the Citadel Global Community Church, Pastor Tunde Bakare, has officially declared to contest the 2023 presidential election. The presidential aspirant declared his intention to succeed President Muhammadu Buhari at the Shehu Musa Yar'Adua Center, Central Business District, Abuja, while delivering his speech. Bakare said if elected president, his government would largely be based on carefully designed 4 areas of focus. According to him, as president, his administration would deliver on 4 mandates of peace, progress, prosperity, and possibilities. Meanwhile, Nigeria's vice president and presidential aspirant in the 2023 general election on the platform of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, has said consultation with the people is critical in governance and important for national development, especially in a country as diverse and complex as Nigeria. The assertion was contained in a statement by the Vice President's spokesman, Laolu Akonde. According to the statement, Osinbajo, while hosting speakers and deputy speakers of some state houses of assembly to a dinner at his official residence at the presidential villa, said government by partnership is very important. The senior advocate of Nigeria also stated that he would apply the partnership model in governance if he is nominated by the All Progressives Congress, APC, as its presidential flag bearer and if he is elected as president of Nigeria. The Commissioner of Police Delta Command, Mr. Ari Ali, has said that there is no sit-at-home order in the state as declared by the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra. Ali gave the clarification in a statement he issued through the state's command spokesman, DSP Bright Edafe. The CP was responding to a Facebook post by some faceless individuals with the caption, "Unknown gunmen, Asaba Delta State send strong message." He assures residents of their safety and urged them to go about their lawful businesses, stressing that the command would deal decisively with anyone or group of persons that may try to cause mayhem in the state. Aggrieved civil servants in Borno State have expressed disapproval of the recent donations by some leaders of associations and professional bodies towards the purchase of expression of interest and nomination forms for the re-election bid of the Borno State Governor, Professor Babagana Zulum, for a second time in office. The aggrieved government workers disclosed that the actions of their leaders are a confirmation that the leadership have been compromised despite the harsh working conditions introduced by the Zulum administration. This was contained in a statement titled Vote of No Confidence in Borno State Governor and the Borno State Labour Leaders, and signed by concerned civil servants. Reacting, Umar Shatima said the decision to contribute for the purchase of the forms for the governor was a collective decision. And to the foreign scene, Costa Rica's new president, Rodrigo Chaves, has promised to revive the economy, invest in education, and fight corruption. The economist and former World Bank executive has also promised to tackle sexual harassment. Chaves resigned from the global lender in 2019 after nearly 3 decades following allegations of sexual misconduct. Doi Ayegbusi has details.
A handover of power in Costa Rica, Rodrigo Chaves was presented the presidential sash after running a successful campaign as a political maverick who promised to clean up the broken system. A message repeated at his inauguration.
Sí, juro. Aquí no.
It is time to leave behind the old practices that the Costa Rican people rightly fault us with. There is no difference between the ruling party and the opposition. If the political class fails once again, our country could fall apart.
The rise of a former World Bank official has surprised many. He emerged from shadows to the presidency after serving only 8 months as finance minister in the previous administration. He brought a populist streak to the usually subclined Costa Rican presidential campaign, exploiting the growing resentment against traditional parties and people's worries of rising unemployment, crime, and the cost of living.
In Costa Rican politics, we are now in a new era, electoral volatility, high electoral volatility, big changes in terms of support, and also political parties are weak. Right? Their electoral bases are small.
Since clinching victory, though, Chaves has shown a more traditional conservative side, promising to keep public finances solvent and reducing expectations on immediate major increases on social spending. Observers say he will face an uphill battle and an increasingly disillusioned public. His party will have only 10 of Costa Rica's 57 congressional seats, meaning he will have to reach agreement with the more traditional parties.
There are 2 big questions. One, he's going to be able to build a team, because these people don't know each other at all, and they are going to have to work together. So that's a big question. And the other big question, the biggest, I would say, it's precisely that. The people who really voted for him, who wanted tabula rasa, what are they going to do? Because they won't have it.
Costa Rica has long been recognized as Central America's most stable country, applauded for its environmental and moderate economic policies. But many believe that if Chaves fails, his presidency could trigger a more unstable and turbulent time for this country. Oladoyin Ayegbusi, Osrc News.
In the OSRC News at 7, there again are the major stories. The Ondo State government has solicited the support of individuals, groups and alumni associations in bridging infrastructure gaps in schools across the state. Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Femi Agagu, made the call while monitoring schools' resumption. Public universities in Nigeria are to remain closed for another 3 months as the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has extended its ongoing rollover strike. I brought to you that the Federal High Court in Abuja has declined the request of the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, to restrain INEC and the Minister of Justice from preventing his presidential ambition. And that's it on the news tonight. Thanks for watching. Good evening.